On the windy island, Mykonos in Greece, at this beach club here. So the more clarity I'm getting on what I might bring to the world, the more I'm moving toward the niche of helping guys who have big dreams and hopes, but their self-esteem is smashed to pieces because of their experience of life. They have no self-respect, very low self-worth, no belief in themselves. Before 2 years ago, I was not really reading books much. I was trying to understand how to make the most of my life, and I did Tony Robbins seminars and studied neuro-linguistic programming, and I kind of considered very much the realm of psychology, counseling, healing yourself as, I don't know, for people who had broken brains or something, who are just whack and out there. And I've come to realize that it's very much not the case. If you have very low self-esteem, if you don't have belief in yourself, if you don't, and I cringe to say this, but it's so true, if you don't love yourself, it's going to be really, really hard to do anything with your life. Why do I think that's important? Because the gig economy is upon us. The world is changing very quickly, and you need to be able to work for yourself, basically. That's the way I see it. I'm not somebody who wants to be working in a big corporation. I've done it before and I hated it. You're just a number. You're much better off it if you can do it, to work for yourself and be able to travel and work from anywhere in the world. I also, as I'm recording this, the UK is undergoing some serious problems right now. I'm not going to give my opinion on anything, but all I'll say is some very well-respected people are really questioning the government. That basically you need to be able to get out of a country if you need to, work from anywhere, and you can't do that if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't love yourself. It's gone a bit off script. This is possibly one of the most raw, unscripted videos I've done. But so I've written down a few notes. Okay, the gig economy is here. You must believe in yourself to be able to make money, to start up a business. Many people growing up have had an experience where their self-esteem is shot to pieces for whatever reason. They could have had a rough time at school or very bad parents, and you got to understand say for example you had a bad father who beat the snot out of you and did all that kind of crap. His dad would have done that to him. Yeah, I've come to realize that a lot of adults, they're just big children in many ways. Really, when you don't have self-worth and there's no hope, you don't believe in yourself, you will be prone to procrastination. That's what this book is, a lot of it is about. Because you have perfectionism, you have a fear of failure, you're paralyzed by fear of being criticized. You've got to resolve all of this stuff. I've got to resolve all of this stuff. You know, I've been on a journey of really trying to understand myself, and as I've grown up and learned, I've realized a lot of guys struggle with this. I met with Iman Gadji 4 or 6 weeks ago. One thing, I've tried to understand how he's done what he's done. How is a 24-year-old earning between 1.5 and I believe 2.5 million pounds a month? How is he doing that? And he said it himself. He did not have a father figure growing up. I believe his biological father, you know, probably a broken guy. It sounds like he has some terrible alcohol addiction, and then Iman's stepfather was just a narcissist, sounds like a full-blown narcissist, not a good guy. And so Iman really was freed from having any father figure at the age of, I think, like 7 or 8 or 9, somewhere around there. And so he really had to be his own father. And he himself has said that that's probably had its advantages, because if you grow up with a father through those years of, say, 12, 13, 14, where you're very impressionable, they can do you some serious damage, and it can take you a lifetime to undo that. And so that's what I got from observing him, is that he didn't have a father, and that's really tough, and I think that he's probably working through some of that now. But what he was able to do was he had like a beginner's mindset. He was able to program his mind from the beginning, and that on its own is a tremendous advantage in that respect, you know, that he was able to believe in himself, read books. They were his kind of input rather than a narcissistic father through his teenage years. So yeah, but a lot of guys have had that kind of that low self-esteem, self-worth from a poor father or bad experience at school. And so it's on you now to reparent yourself. You've got to be your own father. And I think a great thing to do, and Peter Attia, the longevity expert, talks about this, is you've got to become aware of your self-talk. How do you talk to yourself? And this book mentions this. Are you incredibly self-critical? Are you brutal when you make a mistake? Are you paralyzed with fear about trying something new and learning new skills? Because that is what entrepreneurialism is all about. You've got to be a one-stop shop. You've got to learn how to build a business plan, how to set up a company, how to market yourself. You've got to learn how to develop sales skills. You have to be a one-stop shop, because you can't outsource that to anyone when you have maximum capital to invest in your business of maybe 10 or 50 grand. That's all. You know, you can't give out 20 grand to somebody to do your marketing, you know. So you've got to learn new skills, and to do that you've got to have a good level of self-esteem, self-belief, a growth mindset. I've spoken about that a lot. And you've got to have self-awareness. If when it comes to learning a new skill you beat the crap out of yourself, because learning a new skill involves making mistakes, you're toast. So you've got to be your own father. You've got to build yourself up. You've got to become aware of any negative self-talk. And that's the first step. Peter Attia, his psychologist, he did a savage month at full immersion in a clinic. And the guy told him, I want you, when you start beating yourself up for making a mistake, record it all into a voice note, but the opposite. Imagine you talking to your best friend, someone you love dearly. And so he would say, Peter, or whatever, whoever his best friend, listen, you just screwed up big time. You just did a YouTube video maybe that got terrible reception. You've been shot down in flames for it. People are criticizing you for it. Now, how would you talk to your best friend? It's all good, man. It was a terrible video, but it's a great way to learn. You've got to fail forward. I believe in you. You know, and I don't want to get too sloppy on here, but talk to yourself as if you would your best friend, or if you had a son. You know, for me, if somebody gave me a boy to look after, to raise, I would like to think I would have tremendous compassion for that boy and do the best I could. You know, I could not imagine if I took him to a football game and he missed the goal or slipped up and went face first into the mud. I could not imagine telling him what a failure he is and what a schmuck he is. I could not imagine crushing a child's spirit like that. Well, guess what? You shouldn't do that to yourself either, because a part of you is childlike. There's inner child theory. And so maybe this video will be completely weird for some people. I used to think of psychology, as I said at the beginning, and inner child theory is just some whack stuff, very strange. But now I realize the power of it to heal yourself and to go out into the world like a titan, you know, like as the man you're supposed to be, and build something big, make a ton of mistakes, learn from them, be all good with it, reparent yourself. They say your net worth is down to your network, or your network is your net worth. But your network comes from your self-worth. If you hate yourself, if whenever you go into a place like that, there's a ton of people over there having lunch, a lot of these people around here are high flyers, successful people, or they're pretending to be. You better come with confidence, and you better come with self-acceptance. And if you don't, and you're cringy and you're scared and you're closed because you had the crap beaten out of you by, say, bad upbringing, you will cause other people to be closed to you and cold back to you, unfortunately. And so you have to take it on yourself to reparent yourself and to love yourself, so that you can go into business meetings, social situations. And it takes time. It takes time to do that. Give yourself grace. You know, I hope this is being received, and I don't want to come across as somebody who's got this all figured out. I'm just sharing what I've learned. I think a lot of young guys out there need to learn about this stuff. You know, I do recommend this book. You know, when I was trying to lose weight, I was chubby as a kid. I had a moment when I looked in the mirror. I stumbled upon kickboxing. I got assaulted quite badly. I was attacked by a couple of guys, and I promised myself it would never happen again. I got obsessed with learning how to fight. I did martial arts 7 days a week, and as a side effect, I started to lose weight. And I remember I never before believed I could get in shape. One morning, I call it my ray of light moment, I looked in the mirror. I was getting ready for school, and I saw, it's a bit weird, I'm recording a video, I've got people walking past and smiling at me, but I saw this line on my arm. I could not believe I'd lost weight or body fat as a side effect of the training, as I was obsessively pursuing mastering the art of fighting. I'm no great fighter, but I was training 7 days a week. I fought for the British kickboxing title. You know, I got to a reasonable level. As a side effect, I got this, it was on my right arm, I remember it vividly. I suddenly believed, holy smokes, I can change my body shape. You know, and I'm not in bad shape now. I used to be fat, guys, right? And it was an awful time at school for me. That was one of the things I experienced. Anyway, I suddenly developed a belief that I can change my own body. I thought I was born fat and that was my lot in life. And I think that if you want to get into this gig economy, heal yourself so you can bring your full self to the party, earn big or good money. You know, money's not happiness, but to earn good money so you're comfortable, you can travel and you can give to other people. You've got to have belief you can do it. You know, 2 years ago, I just couldn't conceive how I could set up a business online and earn even $500 or pounds from an invoice. I just couldn't, you know, let alone earning 500,000 a month like Iman Gadji. You've got to be able to believe it's possible. I know that may sound very cliche, but belief. But it all starts with believing and accepting yourself. That's one thing I took from that meeting with Iman Gadji. He did not have a father who beat this through his teenage years, basically programmed him that he's a schmuck and he'll never achieve anything. What he had was he read a book a week and he programmed his own mind. Yes, as I said, I think he's paying the price for not having a father. I think he's working through that. You know, I wish him all the healing. Few people have asked me about Gadzi, the scam. Tell me about him. My experience of him, I really like the guy. Very honest, salt of the earth guy. Perfect? No, like nobody on this planet, but I really, really like the guy. I think he's genuine. He's done tremendously well to figure out so much, and he seemed like a very, very kind guy to me. Everybody wanted to speak to him, he gave them all time. I believe he mostly accepts himself. That's the feeling I get, and believed in himself from a young age. If you go back and watch his early YouTube videos from like 6 years ago, you hear him talk about, I'm so excited to wake up early because I know what I'm going to achieve. Yeah, that's not a lot of guys. A lot of guys don't have that. You've got to believe in yourself and see the vision. And anyway, I hope this wasn't too hocus pocus out there for people, but it's from my heart. I greatly feel pain for anybody who doesn't have belief and is on this journey of healing themselves. The last thing I'll say is do not ever give in to a victim mindset, feeling sorry for yourself. It repels people and it doesn't help. Yes, you can acknowledge, crap, I've had a hard time, this is painful. And you might need to talk to somebody about that and get it out of your system and have a big cry and whatever. Don't stay there for too long if you can help it. Don't go into victim. You got to see yourself as a conqueror, as a warrior. That sounds cheesy, but you have got to. All right, guys, I'm sending this with the best intentions from here in Mykonos. I wish everybody to have a healthy, happy life. It's a short time here. If any of this struck a chord with you and you want me to comment more or anything, please leave me a comment. I'm no expert in this. I'm a beginner. I'm a learner, like most people, I guess. My expertise is I'm a performance nutritionist. I've done 15 years of martial arts, so I know a little bit about striking and to a basic level grappling. Yeah. Over and out. I wish you to have a wonderful day. I hope this helps as many guys as possible who watch it.